England are through to the Euro 2024 knockout stages despite a drab 0-0 draw with Slovenia in Cologne last night, but many of the problems we hoped to see Gareth Southgate solve from our last two matches were still very much present. So as usual, I'm going to give my thoughts and feelings on this performance. I'm going to try and not be too negative this time. We are through to the next round. We can only look forwards now, but that was still a very tough watch, wasn't it? As pretty much everyone predicted, Gareth Southgate went for just the one change with Gallagher coming in for Alexander-Arnold in that midfield role next to Declan Rice. And unfortunately, I think that midfield got even worse. I think Gallagher was pretty anonymous in those first 45 minutes. It felt like we were even worse in front of our own box. There were a few really sloppy moments in those opening minutes. And the football just looked very similar to those first two performances, very laboured, borderline walking football, and just often that look and feel like this team had never played football with one another. And there were some other strange things in those opening minutes as well, like Bellingham often drifting out onto the left, presumably told to do so that Foden can cut into the middle. Once again playing a player out of position and to very little success because he had another poor game. There was the occasional flash of quality, like that nice little passing move from Trippier, Rice and Foden, which saw Foden cut in behind, square the ball to Saka and put it in the back of the net. But of course Foden's body was pretty much entirely offside for that one. There were a couple of other half efforts, Kane curling that shot in from the edge of the box, Trippier putting that peach of a ball into the box when he finally got a chance to cross with his right out on the left, but the ball was almost too good and sailed straight over the head of Gallagher and Kane just couldn't connect with it at the back post. But other than that, we really didn't test Oblak, and despite Slovenia having very little in front of goal, they were in and around our box a few times. It wasn't pleasant viewing. Thankfully, Southgate saw the error of his ways with putting Gallagher into that starting lineup, and Kobbie Mainoo came on at half-time. And while it was still a pretty poor half overall, I thought he injected life, urgency, and he was just a bit more direct next to Declan Rice. We dominated possession, we started to have more efforts, not that those were of particular quality, but I think that is now the blueprint for the games going forward. Mainoo's starting next to Declan Rice. Gallagher can still come on to shut out games, but I just don't think he has that intensity or that quality to be starting. It was still very much huff and puff for the first 20 or 25 minutes of that second half though. There was those series of scrappy headers after Foden's corner on 57 minutes, with Gahey nodding the ball back into the centre of the box and Saka attempting that overhead kick, but nearly scraping off the face of a Slovenia player in the process. The other changes we made later in the game did improve things though. Cole Palmer, who we've so desperately been asking to see get some minutes, finally came on for Saka at 71 minutes, and I have to say I thought he was really good and he was everything I expected him to be, really. He was direct, he tried to play the ball forwards every time rather than just sideways and backwards, played a couple of nice balls into the box. There was that one he played nicely in behind for Mainoo to run onto. He squared it, but no one was there to drive the ball into the back of the net. Palmer to me just looked like the most creative and impactful attacking player we've seen over these group games. I know some people have given it the caveat that he was coming on against a tired Slovenia. You're always on paper going to have more impact than the winger who's been running up and down for 70 minutes. But I seriously think Southgate needs to try and work out how to get him into the side. Again though, very similar to the first half, there were some flashes of quality, but things just still didn't quite click. There was another nice 1-2 with Rice and Foden, this time with Rice driving into the box and letting off a shot which looked destined for the top right but went wide. Alexander-Arnold still found his way onto the pitch at 84 minutes, replacing Trippier, with Walker switching over to the other side and Trent attacking quite a bit. But one of the bizarrest moments of the match, I thought, was when we had that late free kick out on the right hand side. Pretty much Trent's strongest attacking position given the balls that he plays in from that right hand side for Liverpool. And Foden took the free kick. If you're bringing on Alexander-Arnold with 10 minutes to go and he's not taking that free kick, what is he there for? The final sub was Anthony Gordon for Phil Foden on 89 minutes, incredibly late, but I thought Gordon had a nice little cameo as well. On 91 minutes he played that cutting ball through the middle to pick out Mainoo. He squared it off to Kane, who teed up Palmer on the right, but the ball was just a little bit too weak and Oblak comfortably saved it in the bottom right. Trent had the last opportunity of the game on 93 minutes, shooting just from the edge of the box, but that went way over the bar as well. The full-time whistle was blown. Denmark, of course, drew 0-0 to Serbia, so despite the draw, England still won Group C. And the maddest thing is that they won Group C, being the only team in that group to win a single match. So what next? Well, England will face one of the best third place teams from Groups D, E or F. Netherlands, of course, fell to third place in Group Group D after their loss to Austria last night. So as one of our possible opponents, that means our round of 16 matches might have got just that bit harder. But we won't know the outcomes of Group E or F until later tonight once those matches have concluded. The silver lining though is that we are no longer on track to face France should we manage to get to the semi-finals, because they dropped to second in Group D. Germany, Spain and Portugal are also on the other side of the draw. So if we can get our act together, it could be a fairly generous route to the final. But of course I am getting ahead of myself because that was still another lacklustre performance and there's still plenty to be worked on here. The silver linings of this match is that we did get some good appearances from Mainu, Palmer and Gordon despite their limited minutes. I think Mainu has probably forced his way into that midfield given the problems that we have there. But Southgate will have to make some bold choices on the other two if he's going to get our best attacking players onto the pitch. Anyway, we'll find out later tonight who we are facing on Sunday at 5 PM in Gelsenkirchen, and I'll be back with another video to preview that match in the next couple of days. Do let me know your own take on yesterday's performance in the comments below, and if you've enjoyed this video, if you like what you've seen, then please do hit like and subscribe as well. Thanks again, and I'll see you next time.